In the metals quadrant, copper, an interesting story, down over 2% on its lows. Copper falls to its 50-day moving average, the biggest drop in over 6 weeks. You have to go all the way back to early September 16th exactly, where we had a near 2.5% move down in copper. And again, copper fell down to that 50-day moving average, finished near the bottom of the range at 263 and change on the contract at the CME group. The China deal seems to be in jeopardy again, at least phase 2, 3, and 4, as was talked about by the administration. We have a phase 1 verbal agreement for a U.S.-China trade deal, although the location of the signing between President Trump and President Xi Jinping, that particular Apex conference in Chile, was canceled. President Trump says he's going to announce another location for the signing of the phase 1 deal, but according to reports reported first in Bloomberg, Chinese officials not confident that a comprehensive deal can be done with President Trump. So it doesn't look like, at least from the Chinese point of view, at least in this point in time, that there's going to be a phase 2, 3, or even 4 after this phase 1 deal gets signed, if it gets signed. China, of course, the largest consumer and smelter of copper. So anytime you see perceived weakness in China, you see weaker prices in copper relative to everything else. You look at the Chinese GDP coming in at the lowest level in 2 decades. Looks like it would fall lower. Chinese PMI came out and was lower than expected overnight as well. And then we have the dollar falling, which might be part of the contributor to us coming off that 50-day moving average. The dollar's now fallen for a 4th consecutive session. We have the Federal Reserve announcing a pause, and the dollar relationship to commodities is inverse. So if you see the dollar weaker, you tend to see commodities more pricey. However, that's not the case right now, as we see most commodity-based risk assets like crude oil, like copper, falling. Copper, as I mentioned, fell today, ended up down the day close to that down 2% net level.